Okay, picture this. It's before sunrise in a huge national park. Everything is quiet. The pine trees are just these big, dark shapes against a deep blue sky, and there's this soft mist hovering over the river. Our story today starts right here, in this incredibly peaceful world, on a trail that's just starting to wake up after a very long winter. And there it is. That's the first sound. For Ranger Elena Torres, who's standing right at the start of the trail, that one beautiful note is the real beginning of her day. It's a sign, a hopeful little signal that the forest is finally coming back to life. Now, Elena isn't just out for a casual morning walk. Oh no, she's got a super important job. This trail, the Eagle Crest Trail, has been closed all winter long. We're talking deep snow, slick ice, way too dangerous for anyone. So her mission today is to walk every single inch of this 8-mile path and make sure it's safe for hikers to come back. The second she steps onto the trail, it's like all her senses just switch on. The ground feels soft and a little bit damp under her hiking boots, and the air, wow. She can smell the wet bark on the trees, the cold stone, and that amazing fresh green smell of new plants pushing up through the dirt. That is the smell of spring right there. This is what's so interesting about being a ranger. You see things differently. A visitor, like you or me, might look around and see beautiful, shiny moss and pretty flowers. But Elena, her brain is trained to see what's underneath all that beauty. She sees the loose stones that could make someone trip, the ditch that's carved up with leaves and could cause a washout, and the slopes that might not be stable. She has to see it all. For Elena, walking this trail is kind of like reading a book. She spots deer tracks pressed into the soft mud, and over there, the tiny, almost invisible footprints of a wild turkey. These are all good signs. They're clues that tell her the animals are out and about, and the forest is healthy. And as she walks, she's constantly writing in her little notebook. This isn't a diary, though. It's a safety to-do list. Every single note she scribbles down is about protecting people she'll never even meet. It's the careful behind-the-scenes work of being a ranger. But her job isn't all just about safety checks and potential dangers. When Elena sees the very first tiny purple flowers of the year pushing through the leaves, she just stops. And in the total quiet of the forest, she actually whispers a little hello to them. It's a small thing, but it shows you how deeply she's connected to this place. Now, as she climbs higher, the air gets a little colder. You start to see patches of old snow hiding in the shadows, and melting ice makes the path really slippery in spots. Elena knows this better than anyone. Spring might look pretty, but it can be really tricky. It's a time of major change, and change can sometimes be dangerous. And then it happens. She rounds a bend in the trail and just stops dead in her tracks. The path is completely blocked. A young aspen tree, its roots probably loosened up by all the wet, soft ground, has toppled right over. Well, her easy inspection just got a whole lot more complicated. Immediately, Elena's training kicks in. She doesn't just look at the tree, she circles it, checking the ground all around it, and she sees the real problem. It's not just the tree trunk. The ground on the downhill side is loose and crumbly. If a hiker tried to scramble around, they could slip and get badly hurt. Nope, this trail is definitely not safe. Just as she's pulling out some orange tape to mark the area, she hears it. A sound. It's sharp, it's high-pitched, and it sounds urgent. That's not a bird. That sounds like a cry for help. And it's coming from somewhere down the slope beyond that fallen tree. So very carefully, Elena makes her way down the slippery hill. And there, wedged between two big rocks, she finds where the sound was coming from. It's a young coyote. It looks so scared, and it's in pain. One of its front legs is completely stuck in a mess of branches from that same tree that fell. In a moment like this, you can't panic. All of Elena's training just takes over. She knows she has to be quick, but she also has to be calm and super safe for her and for this terrified animal. Her mind is already racing, putting together a plan. And this slide basically lays out her professional response. First, she backs away. The last thing she wants to do is scare the coyote even more. Then, she gets on her radio to call for help. While she waits, she drapes a small blanket over a bush to create a little visual barrier to make the coyote feel a bit safer. She even pushes a little water towards it on a flat rock. Small things, but they're huge acts of kindness. As she waits, the forest gets quiet again, except for the coyote's little whimpers. And in that stillness, Elena starts thinking about her job. A lot of people think rangers just give tours or tell people where the bathrooms are, but she knows that badge she wears stands for something so much more. And this, right here, is the heart of the whole story. A ranger isn't just a guide. A ranger is a guardian, a protector of the trails, the trees, the rivers, and all the creatures who live here, the ones who can't ask for help themselves. This is why she does what she does. Soon enough, she hears people coming. It's her colleague, Ranger Malik, and Dr. Singh, the park's veterinarian. They've got a whole rescue kit. They work together, speaking in low, calm voices, and they move with this incredible gentleness to snip away the branches and free that little coyote's leg. After a quick, careful check, Dr. Singh looks up and smiles. The leg is just sprained, not broken. The coyote got really lucky. But as Elena watches them get the animal ready to be carried out, she thinks to herself, it was more than just luck. It was that someone was here to care.
By the time they all get back up to the trail, the whole day feels different. The sun is finally out, the morning mist is completely gone, and the whole valley is glowing with bright green new leaves. The crisis is over. You can just feel the relief in the air.
So obviously, Elena's plan for the day is a total bust. The trail is definitely not reopening this weekend, and she's not going to finish her inspection. But you know what? She's not disappointed at all. She knows that when you work with nature, you have to be ready for anything.
And that's because she understands what spring is really all about. It's not neat and tidy. It's actually kind of a messy, powerful season. You've got melting snow, shifting ground, and broken branches. But at the same time, it's a season of incredible return. The return of light, of color, and of life. Pretty soon, a trail crew will come clear that tree, and the trail will be safe again. Hikers will walk here, and they'll look at the amazing views and think, this place has always been this perfect, this wild and untouched, and most of them will never, ever know about the fallen tree or the trapped coyote or the quiet work that made their hike possible. And that's okay. Elena's story is a great reminder that the wilderness is always telling these quiet little stories of survival, of danger, and of care. And it leaves us with this one big question. Who is actually out there listening to them? The answer, of course, is the guardians like Elena, the ones who walk the trails first, who hear the cries for help, and who work silently so that these wild places can stay safe for everyone.